Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome to the CNBC-TV18 Mumbai newsroom. I'm Pavitra Parekh. You're tuned into your stocks and we have lots of queries to get to in just some time. But first up, a quick look at the markets, which are, by the way, picking up. While on the index level, it is quite flat for the Nifty. We have at least moved into the green right now, so we're just around 5 points higher. But it is the mid-cap and bank space where you are seeing the bigger moves. So those indices, at least the Nifty bank right now is around 50 points in the green. So you are seeing some kind of, attempt to move higher. That's what's happening with the market action. We'll come back to this. But first up, quickly, let me invite our guests on the show. We have Ruchit Jain of 5paisa.com as well as Astha Jain of Hem Securities to answer all of your queries. Ruchit, Astha, thank you very much for taking out the time for our viewers and answering their queries. And we have a long list, so let me get right to it. Ashutosh Kumar writes to us from Mumbai. He holds 25 shares of Hindalco at 300 rupees per share. He says that he's a medium-term investor and as you can tell, of course, he is making some good gains in this investment, but now he wants to know whether he should hold on or he should sell at current levels, considering that he has already clocked in some gains. This is the top gainer on the Nifty today. It is 6% higher. Hindalco, it was a weak set as was expected, but it was a little bit higher than the street estimates. That's what really got the stock excited in trade. Sir, let me come across to you first. 6% higher on Hindalco today, but if you look at it for the full year, it's not done that much. The good part is that he got in at a good level. What would you suggest now?
Good afternoon, Pavitra. For Hindalco, I would like to suggest that he can hold his positions because, yes, you have rightly said the results were not that much great. But if I look into the details of the results, their businesses are really doing good. If I talk about the volume businesses, whether it is in the aluminium and whatever business they are having, so volume growth is really very high. So that is what impressing me right now. So all in all, I think one can continue the position in Hindalco, and I'm seeing the upside from here is around 10% going ahead. So my stance is hold on the stock.
Okay, hold on the stock, and you see a 10% upside possible in this one. Let's also bring Ruchit in. Ruchit, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. Today, of course, the reaction coming through is, the initial bump up right after the earnings. But how would you look at the charts on this one? Otherwise, do you think it calls for us just holding on for a little bit longer?
Yes, hi, very good afternoon, Pavitra. I think, yes, even I would recommend to continue to hold. Primarily, we have seen in last few trading sessions, the dollar index has corrected very sharply. And usually the dollar index has inverted correlation with the metals and the metal stocks as well. So we had seen that in last 1 year, when the metal stocks has corrected, it was mainly because of the rise in the dollar index, which has now reversed. So in case if the dollar index continues its downtrend, then I think metal names would continue to do well going ahead. And I know the Hindalco specifically has given a breakout today from its previous swing high resistances. Even if you look at the volumes today, then post the results outcome, the volumes are quite good in this up move. So this clearly indicates a good buying interest. Technically, the short to medium term target projections for the stock are seen around rupees 500 to 510. So at least at current levels, should continue to hold for potential targets around 500.
All right, so all around hold call coming through. I'm sure it makes it much easier for our viewer. And he's already, of course, made good gains on this stock. The next query comes in from PR Krishnan. He calls us from Coimbatore and says that he has investments in Indian Oil and BPCL. This has definitely not been the year for, these oil marketing companies. So let me come to you, Ruchit, on this one. Both of these stocks have, of course, suffered significant cuts. For the year, IOC is down around 22%. You have BPCL, which is down 30%. But what do you think going from here? Do you think there's chance that we could see a little bit more of an upside here? Ruchit, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead. IOC and BPCL.
Yeah, so in fact, if you see all the three OMCs, IOC, HPCL, and BPCL, they all have seen a good underperformance of late. But the chart structures are now indicating that the price-wise correction could be behind us. So we are not expecting any significant down move in prices for now. Yes, there could be some time-wise correction where prices could trade within a range, for next few weeks or few months. So I think it depends on how much patience or how much time frame would you have. In case if you could hold on for at least a view of 9 to 12 months, then I think you can expect an up move in IOC towards that 80, 82 range. So from short-term perspective, there could be some time-wise correction in these OMCs. But from medium-term perspective, I think the pullback move would be around the corner once this time-wise correction is done.
All right, got it. In fact, my team is telling me that PR Krishnan is on the line with us. So, Mr. Krishnan, good afternoon. And, like I was just reading out, you have investments in IOC and BPCL, and I can understand why you would want, some advice on these stocks. Could you tell us how long you're willing to hold on to these investments?
Madam, I can continue to hold it for another 2-3 years because I have some fancy for OMC shares. That is the reason I went on doing averaging. So I ended up with so much of quantity.
Okay, and you're comfortable holding it for 2 or 3 years?
Yes, there is no issue, madam.
Okay, let's ask our next expert as well. Astha, like you heard, he is comfortable holding on to these stocks for the next 2 to 3 years. With that time perspective in mind, do you think that we could recover the kind of losses that we've seen here on IOC, BPCL?
Of course, but we could recover those losses because the cost price is not that much higher. If I speak about the current levels, or I talk about the current level. So first of all, talking about IOC, although yes, they have reported big set of numbers, but going ahead, there are 2-3 factors which will be working in favor of this company. First, we are seeing improved demand from for the refining petroleum products. So I think that will be working well for the company. Secondly, we can see the refining margins to improve going ahead, maybe in FY23 full year or FY24, the refining margins will get improved. So that will also help this company to show strong gains going ahead, and their marketing margins will also get improved. So all in all, and yes, they have posted weak set of numbers, but the losses were below our expectations. So all in all, I think in the longer run, this company has a potential not only to recover the cost, but to show some sort of gains also. So yes, he can hold this position. Price target can be around 80 for IOC. Talking about BPCL, yes, BPCL has even posted losses. Why? Because some of this segment, like the marketing segment, was not working well because we have seen some sort of cost escalation was there, inventory loss was there. So all in all, but going ahead, I think again we are expecting refining margins to get improved, and this is for all the oil refining companies. So this is a macro factor which I'm talking right now. So on that basis only, I'm talking about to hold the stock. Price target at the initial level for BPCL can be at around 345 to 355 levels.
All right, got it. Mr. Krishnan, I hope that helps you. You know, this quarter was expected to be weak, like Astha was just pointing out, across oil marketing companies, but the GRMs are expected to improve going forward as well, which should perhaps aid the stock price. So I hope
Thank you. Thank you so much for the guidance, madam.
Of course. Thank you for writing in. We also have Soma Shekhar, who writes to us from Bengaluru. He holds 200 shares of APL Apollo at 389 rupees a piece. He also has purchased 100 shares of Hinduja Global Solutions at the rate of 1434. He says that he's a long-term investor and wants to know whether he should hold or sell these stocks with that time horizon in mind. Astha, coming to you on this one, if you can take us through what you think of APL Apollo as well as Hinduja.
So Pavitra, as we are not covering Hinduja, so right now I cannot talk about it. Now talking about another stock, that is APL Apollo. So again, one disclaimer, we might have holding of this stock in our portfolio. That is the PMS services that we are providing to our client. So for APL Apollo, yes, the results were weaker for this quarter, but going ahead, their plant will, their Raipur plant will get operationalized. So that will help the company in showing strong volume. And in fact, in this quarter also, we have seen some sort of volume gain, but there were other reasons due to which there was some sort of channel destocking was there, and that's why we have seen the EBITDA per ton was not very strong for this company. But in the longer run, we are expecting this stock to perform well. So for the longer term horizon only, we are recommending hold on the stock. Price target can be 1200 to 1300 at the initial level.
Okay, got it. I'm also going to ask Ruchit on both of these stocks. Ruchit, if you heard, APL Apollo, he's bought, and he bought it at around 390 rupees. So it's already done, well from those levels. It is up around 20% this year. Do you think that there's lots more to go here?
I think it should continue to hold on because the broader trend has been positive, and whatever intermediate corrections that we have seen in last few weeks, the stock has managed to hold its crucial 200-day moving average support. So until it is trading above that 200 EMA support, which is now trading around, which is now around 980. I think this the downside seems to be very limited on here on. So I think keep a stop loss below 980, which could be a trailing stop loss on your positions, and continue to hold on. Hinduja Global Solutions, I think it would be a sell on rise candidate which one should look at, because of late we have seen that any price moves have not been supported any good any higher volumes. So broadly in the pullback moves, the stock would face resistance in that 1400 to 1450 range. So I think the upside seems to be limited from here on, although today's stock is up. But in case if this continues towards that 1450, 1430 mark, that should be a good opportunity to take an exit from this one.
Oh, yes. I mean, Hinduja had gone all the way above 1600, right? But in the past couple of months, it has seen a correction. It is currently around the 1300 mark, 1312 on Hinduja and Hinduja Global. But let's move on. Rajan writes to us from Hyderabad. He holds 266 shares of GMDC. He bought this at 165. He also has 569 shares of Vedanta, which he bought at 317. So he says he's a medium-term investor and wants to know whether he should hold or sell both of these stocks. GMDC, Ruchit, has been quite a crazy chart, I'm sure, to look at. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think yes, quite a crazy stock. But I think the price-wise corrections have already been done. If I look at some historical data of last 2 years itself, the stock first rallied from that 70, 80 mark to right up to 220. And from that 220, it is now down to around that 140, 150 range. So a lot of volatility is there in the stock. This volatility could continue, but I think the stock has already seen a good retracement of that entire previous up move. And the good support is there around 130, 140 range. So downside seems to be very limited from here on. Keep a stop loss below 130 and continue to hold your positions whenever it comes around that 190 mark. I think those 190, 200, that would be a good area to again take a review on this stock. And Vedanta, of course, being another metal name, as I said earlier, the downtrend, if it comes in the dollar index, then I think most of the metal names are likely to do well going ahead. Vedanta has seen a relative outperformance already within the metal space, and I think on the higher side, from a medium-term perspective, 350, 360 could be expected. So my call would be to hold on the Vedanta as well at current levels.
All right, so hold both of these at least for now. Astha, coming to you on GMDC as well as Vedanta, do you agree with what Ruchit is saying, that it's perhaps best to hold on at least for a while?
Yes, sure. Talking about GMDC, my stance is also hold, and my target is around 185 to 190 at the initial level, because GMDC has posted a strong set of numbers, being one of the leading mining PSU in the company and being one of the largest seller of lignite in the country. This company has posted very strong set of numbers, and now operationally, and now the company is quite confident of turning around their power segment also. And if it is the case, then definitely this will be a strong case going ahead for remain invested in the stock, because we can see some sort of strong financial performance going ahead by the company if there will be a turnaround in their power segment. So all in all, GMDC is a hold from my side. Talking about Vedanta, if I talk about Vedanta, I mean, the sales were okay. I mean, they have shown some sort of rise in the sales if I talk about their recent results. But the problem was in the EBITDA, because it was a miss, and it was miss in their aluminium segment, I should say. But the other segments like zinc and other segments are doing good, like oil and gas, but there was a bit of miss, and that's why we are seeing some sort of fall in the prices. Going ahead, as there is a strong case for the metal stocks to move ahead, as we are seeing the rise in the LME prices, as Ruchit has also said this thing. So I think it is a case for the long-term investment, and so my stance is hold for the stock.
All right, got it. Hold on both GMDC as well as Vedanta. Ruchit, Astha, we're going to get into a short break, but please stay on because we have lots more queries when we come back. The market, by the way, is moving up with 25 points in the green, and a bulk of the heavy lifting today done by the metal names as well as the ITPAC. The metal index, in fact, is up over 2%. But we're going to come back in just a minute. You guys stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Your Stocks, and we still have Ruchit Jain as well as Astha Jain with us to take you through all of your stock-related queries that you've sent to us over the past few days. And the next one comes in from Lakshmi Kant, who was actually calling in from Tamil Nadu with a query. Sir, if you can hear me, please go ahead, ask your query. Our guests are also on the line, and then they will respond to you.
Yes, I will be on the line.
Ask us your query. I hear that you have shares of AGS Transact. If you can just take us through how many shares you have.
Actually, I am having a 400.
Okay, and what price did you buy these?
I may have to hold it or to exit.
Okay, can you tell us what price you bought these at?
I have purchased in that is in four instances by each 100.
Okay. So you have 500 shares of AJ's Transact Technology, and I hear from the team that the average price of these is at around 164 rupees. That is the average price that you've bought it at. Can you tell me how long you're willing to hold on to these?
I am holding these for the past 6 months.
Okay, and you're a long-term investor. You're willing to hold on for some time?
Okay. No, I don't. I want to dispose it.
Okay. Okay, let's ask the guests. Let's ask the guests what they think about this one, because this is not a stock that we talk about too much. But Astha, coming to you on this one, AGS Transact Tech, he bought it at around 164. It's not done well at all. It's currently around 77. It's down over 50% this year alone. What would you think of this?
Talking about this company, I would like to mention that there are certain debt issues with the company.
Yeah.
Now, what about the fundamentals, rest of the fundamentals? So this is one of the largest player in the, I should say, it is a payment player, and they are providing the outsourcing solutions to the ATM machines. So their clients are the top bankers. And I mean, the clients, the relationship which they enjoy, their clients are like a long-term relationship. So this is the most favorable point in terms of this company, which I'm talking about. Going ahead also, we are expecting some sort of margin expansion if they will be able to reduce their debt, so that they will be saving on the interest. But all these things need to be seen in the future. At present point of time, we are not very much optimistic about this company. So if a time horizon is long term, then only stay invested in the stock. Ultimate price target is around 98 or 100 rupees. So I think he can review his position again. But at present moment of a time, we are not very much positive on the stock. In the longer term, might be they will be able to reduce their debt. Some strong financial performance can be seen on the company's part, but that is really a matter of long term. So he really need to keep patience and hold the stock for the long term.
Okay, if you can hold on for a longer term period, then, you know, perhaps you could cut the kind of losses that you are seeing on AGS Transact. Like Astha was mentioning, it is the debt issues which are really sort of weighing on the stock. So only stay in the space if you are willing to hold on for a longer period of time. I hope that helps you. But the next one is Prabhu Swami. He writes to us from Chandigarh. He wants to invest in banking stocks. And this is a fun question because he asks which stock would be better among ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank for a short-term horizon. And he's looking at around 5 to 6 months. Ruchit, I'm going to let you answer that one first. This should be like a rapid fire. Tell me HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank.
So I think seeing at the recent relative outperformance, I think HDFC Bank would go first because I think the stock has come out of a consolidation phase, and that's why a run-up or a catch-up move could be seen in the short term. So for next, if he is investing just for short term, then I think within both the stocks, HDFC Bank should be preferred.
Okay, for the short term, HDFC Bank should be preferred. Astha, how are you looking at it? Like I said, 5 to 6 months is what he's looking at.
I think he can go with ICICI Bank. Also, HDFC Bank is also a good choice. So he can partly park his fund in the HDFC Bank and partly in ICICI Bank, because both are looking strong candidates and both have their own parameters to analyze. If I talk about ICICI Bank, I mean, their credit card spend is really very strong in this quarter, whatever they have posted. So that is again, I think, a very important point for this company. And in fact, they are investing in their subsidiaries also that will be yielding the results going ahead. That is the ICICI Home. I think they have made the investment of around rupees 2.5 billion, if I am right with my figures. So all in all, ICICI Bank has their own parameter. Now talking about HDFC Bank, it has a strong liability franchisee, plus they have a strong CASA ratio, which again makes a strong case for this bank to remain invested. So both have their own parameters and own merits and demerits. So either he can partly funds park his funds in both of the stock, and if I would like to go with one, then again HDFC Bank is looking good, because on the charts, as Ruchit has mentioned, it has a strong potential to move ahead. So in the shorter run, maybe we should go with the technical analysis part.
All right, maybe you should go with the technical analysis since you're short, you know, your time horizon is so short, 5 to 6 months. That is on HDFC and ICICI Bank. By the way, Grasim's Q2 earnings flashing on your screen. Net profit at 964 crores. This is versus the estimate that we had of just a little bit over 1100 crores. Revenue has come in at 6700 crores. This is versus the 6900 crores that our poll threw up. So there's a little bit of a miss on that front. The stock has come down a little bit, but it's still holding. I'm not too bad at all there. Net profit is a little bit below what we were estimating, but there is a beat on the revenue front. EBITDA also, there seems to be a bit of a miss over there. 956 crores is the EBITDA figure that is coming from Grasim's second quarter earnings, and it is a little bit below the poll of 1040. Those are the figures we have of, for now. The stock is coming off a little bit. So there you have it on your screen. It is cooling off a little bit. The margin has come in at 14.2%. This is versus the poll that we had of 15%. So that is on Grasim, and this is the second last day of big earnings coming through. So today Grasim is one from the Nifty pack, which we are watching very closely. Actually, let me ask our guests what they think about this as well. Astha, if I can come to you on Grasim, there seems to be a little bit of a miss. The stock also reacting to that. How would you look at the first few figures?
At the prima facie, although I need to see the results in the detail, but if there is a miss in the stock because the numbers are not there right now with me, so I think one can remain away from the stock for a shorter term point of view. So this is what I can comment at present moment of the time. Results need to be analyzed in the detail before commenting on. Yeah.
All right, we're going to give you some time, so that you can look at the fine print for Grasim. But Astha, Ruchit, we're going to wind down on that note today. We've run out of time, but thank you very much for joining us and helping our viewers with all of their queries. Once again, Grasim net profit at 964 crores. This is versus the poll that we had of 1116 crores. The revenue seems to also be a little bit of a miss. 6745 crores versus the 6900 crores that we were expecting. But on that note, we're going to wind down on this edition of Your Stocks. Remember, you can send us all of your queries and we will keep taking them up with our experts. And thank you for tuning in. Closing bell comes up to take you through the last hour of trade.